We're going to talk now to Illinois Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger. Congressman, thanks for joining me this morning. Clearly, so much news out there. Turkey, Berlin, Switzerland. In terms of Berlin, do we know any more about who could be behind this?
No more than what you're reporting. Obviously there's a lot of speculation. I think it's probably pretty safe to assume, but of course when you assume, you can always get some things wrong, that this is probably an ISIS plot or some kind of homegrown radicalized terrorist. I think the difference, though, and I think the thing we need to keep in mind is whether it's actually directed by, al-Baghdadi of ISIS himself, whether it's a home-inspired plot. The fact is the mere existence of ISIS and this proposed caliphate and this idea that this is, the next coming of the Muslim religion, in essence, the radical Muslim religion, has to be destroyed because that's what's actually motivating these people to this action. And so I don't know any more than you all do, but I can tell you that the Germans are very good at finding this out, and they're going to get to the bottom of it.
If a migrant was behind this attack, do you believe it's going to reignite refugee fears? President-elect Trump, he has called for a Muslim ban, and then there's been a lot of confusion about what a Muslim ban actually means.
It could. I hope not. I mean, America is one of the most generous countries in general when it comes to resettlement efforts. In fact, in Rockford, Illinois, in my district, it's one of the top in the country for refugee resettlement. So I think it's important that we understand that there are there are seriously, amazingly good people that find themselves in an unfortunate situation. But I think the broader picture is this. Instead of having this situation in the Middle East where people are forced to leave their homes, go to Europe, go to anywhere else, we need to fix the problem there. And that's going to start with safe zones in Syria, allowing people to return to their home country, building kind of a government that's going to come along after Assad or in the ungoverned spaces. And so fixing this problem in the Middle East, I think, is essential right now. Otherwise, this clash of cultures, which really it is in Europe, is going to only continue and probably grow in terms of hostility.
Congressman, that's a great goal and one that would be great if we could execute in the future. But in terms of now, if you look at what just happened in Germany, given the liberal, really, refugee policies they've had, are we going to look at Germany and say, well, this was a mistake? Angela Merkel made a mistake in terms of how she handled refugees.
Look, that's going to be up to the German people. For me, I look at it and say, when you just open the doors and say anybody's welcome here, and we have very liberal screening policies, liberal with a small L, and very, basically just let anybody in, you're going to find yourself in a situation where even if 99.9% of the refugees coming are great people that want to do well, the 0.1% are the types that may drive a truck into a Christmas gathering or anything like that. So this is up to the German people to determine. I think the broader point, though, is, look, they have to have security there. It's creating this rise of these parties in Europe that I think are going to be ultimately detrimental and dangerous. And in the medium to long term, we've got to fix this problem in the Middle East, or it's only going to continue. And it's tragic for the people that live there.
President-elect Trump has said he's got a secret plan. Just yesterday, he said straight out of the gate he wants to eradicate terrorism. I mean, President Obama would also like to have eradicated terrorism. He wasn't able to do that. But come January 20th, should we expect sweeping changes in our anti-terror policies?
It's going to be hard to tell. I think, I haven't heard a lot of details from the president. I will tell you that tough talk is actually, for me, kind of refreshing. So, I think when it comes to ISIS, it took President Obama a long time to recognize that threat was rising. He just admitted that even recently. And while the campaign we're doing right now is actually making some progress, it took a couple years to get to this point. So I think tough talk's important, but the key is, talk tough about eradicating and destroying terrorism. That's important, but not painting all of the Muslim religion with a broad brush. There are very moderate, very good Muslims that we need to win this war. All you have to do is look at Jordan, United Arab Emirates, some of those countries to know we can't win this in an island. We have to win this with allies. And we've got moderate Muslims that are the biggest allies to us in this fight.
Congressman, thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing your thoughts this morning.
Anytime. Take care.